Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a little spring cleaning of our bookshelves video. Yeah, since all the rest of the videos on my channel lately have been kind of surrounding spring cleaning and decluttering and stuff, I thought it'd be kind of fun if we did a little bit of a bookshelf declutter video as well, especially since one of my last videos was my office declutter, which is where my library and my bookshelves are, so I already did this part. And I just pretty much forced Kelly into doing it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see all that. That's cool.
Yep. As you guys will see in this video, as Kelly just mentioned, you'll watch us go through our shelves and kind of like take out some of the books that we no longer want to keep within our little personal libraries, and then we will do a little unhaul at the end of the video so you guys can see at least some of the books.
That's why we're on the floor.
Yeah, we are literally surrounded by books right now.
Surrounded by our books.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them here, so. But
that's why we're here.
It's not centered anymore.
Yeah, well.
It's fine.
It's cool. We're good.
They're okay.
We're good. We can get ourselves straightened out while they go watch.
Yeah. Alright.
Watch us clean.
So, we'll see you later.
Hi. Alrighty, so I am getting ready to go through my shelves, do some cleaning and organizing, and weeding out books that I just don't want anymore or just don't need to have around anymore. If you have watched any of our videos, you probably recognize the bookshelf behind me. This room that we're in now, it's my kind of reading room in progress. And this is actually the only shelf that I have in here. So I'm not going to be working in this room. This shelf actually has my favorite books on it, as well as my TBR shelves, which is the top one, the top shelf right behind me. So I really don't need to go through this book. I have some other books in this room that are kind of on stacks around this shelf, but those are like recent reads, and at this point, if I've recently read a book and I know I really don't like it and I don't want to keep it, I don't put it back on the shelf. I put it in a pile on the side. So I've already kind of weeded through those, so I don't need to work in this room. However, I have another room with my main bookshelf, and that has all the books that I have collected and kept over the years. So that's the book that, or the shelf that really needs going through. So we are going to go and I will show you that shelf. Hey Georgie. Hello. Hi. Okay, so this is the kind of little foyer area at the top of my stairway, and this is my main bookshelf right here. Just this little it's floor to ceiling, kind of between the two doors here. This is the shelf that I will be working on today. And also, if we come around this way, I have a smaller shelf here and a smaller shelf over there. So as you can also see, I'll turn around so my books are behind me. This room needs a little cleaning up. It's kind of our catch-all area because it's just right here at the top of the stairs, so it's really easy to come up the stairs, drop whatever you need, especially my son, because that's his room back there. So he kind of tends to overflow his room sometimes. So to start off with, I'm going to be cleaning up some of this here, and then I will get into going through the shelves. So here we go. You gonna help me out, George? You gonna help me out? You gonna hold the bench down? George, are you ignoring me? Are you afraid I'm gonna ask you to help me?
Chasing clout, he's scared of missing out, but he ain't gotta know what we doing. We ain't got nowhere to be, living out wild and free. Curry, let's make it a 3, not a round up on my sleeve. She said she don't wanna leave, ain't even playing for keeps. Oh yeah. Can't nobody tell me what I can do. Got a plenty aces that life hands you. Feeling like my body understands you. consistent in my ways. Oh yeah, we ain't got nowhere to be, living a wild and free. Girl, let's make it a 3, not a 1 up on my sleeve. She said she don't wanna leave, ain't even playing for keeps. Yeah. Can't nobody tell me what I can't do. Gotta play the aces that life hands you. Feeling like my body understands you. Maybe we could take this all the way. Spend another day chilling, making layups. If you're feeling down, well, there's a way up. All about that bread, I got my cake up. Maybe I just need another taste. Love the way you sway. Oh.
Okay, I think I'm gonna take a little stop right there because I am halfway through, and as you can see, half the shelves are done there. That side was mainly all of my old fantasy books, so since I'm gonna probably put them all back in the same places, or maybe reorganized a little, but definitely over there, I think I'm gonna stop and go through these books right now so you can see. This is halfway. Look at this pile I need to go through. And a few over there too. So I'm gonna stop cleaning for a minute and kind of go through these and see what goes on. Alright, glasses on. Let's see what we've got.
Baby, I need you back. I do. You know your body needs me too. What are you doing now?
Look at this. This is, I think, probably the very first fantasy book I ever owned outside of fairy tales. Nicholas Stuart Gray's The Seventh Swan is kind of a continuation of the fairy tale of the Seventh Swan, and I'm pretty sure I had this. Let's see my name. I wrote my name in it. I'm pretty sure I had this in middle school. My very first one. Keeping it.
Thinking about you made me lose my mind. I'm so crazy, baby, you're divine. Dreaming, scheming, need you by my side. Every waking moment of my life. You got what I need. I'm thinking that there's no cooling this heat. Can't explain it all, good love, it just feels right. Oh baby, maybe you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. Baby, I need you back. I do.
Okay, well, there's the first bit. I didn't grab very many. Like, this little stack right here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, that's what I weeded out. And a couple of maybes. I don't know. I've read these and I remember liking them, but I don't know. That we're gonna see about those. I don't know. Those are maybe pile. And I'm gonna get rid of those too. So I mean, there's a few there. There's a few. But I mean, I have to say, I've had all these books like since high school and college, and especially during college, I would go and weed them out regularly and take them to the secondhand bookstore for trade-in when I was in college and stuff. So, I mean, that's probably why I don't have a whole lot that I want to get rid of. But anyway, I'm going to get these back on the shelf. So, the next question, do I put all my hardbacks together? Do I go in alphabetical order by authors? Do I put hardbacks and then paperbacks? I think it would drive me crazy if my authors were all mixed up just because I wanted the shelves to look all even. That's Amy's department. I don't care. I like eclectic shelves. So, yeah, I think it would probably drive me a little nuts to have my authors separated. So, I'm just going to go alphabetical order by author and see where that hits me. So, that's what I'm going to do.
You know your body needs me too. What are you doing now? Come through. Thinking about you made me lose my mind. I'm so crazy, baby, you're divine. Dreaming, scheming. plenty of good love and just feels right. Oh baby, maybe you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah. I'll take you higher than you've ever been till you're floating. Just taking a swim through the fire. The night will begin when we're golden, golden. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. You got what I baby, I need you. I think you know there's no cooler than you. You know your body needs me too. Good love and just feels right. Oh baby, maybe you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. You got what I baby, I need you back. I do. You know your body needs me too. Good love and just feels right. Oh baby, maybe you know what I mean. Come through. Ooh, oh, oh, oh.
Saturday by the sea, got somewhere we need to be, we just stay here. Like the feel of something new, showing up out of the blue, never been so clear. Psychedelic, maybe it's magic, maybe we're just high. One more hit to keep this going on and on. I know that you want me in the morning, looking at me from the point of view. Lightning in a bottle, I've been searching for somebody just like you. Pillow talking, late night conversation, dating someone nice, say both for two. Baby, that's our only reservations, yeah. Somebody just like you. Didn't know this could be real. Makes no sense, just what I feel, new sensations. Kissing under summer moon, crashing waves in Malibu, no limitations. Oh, psychedelic, maybe it's magic, maybe we're just high. One more hit to keep this going on and on. I know that you want me.
That'll do it. A few more books to take back there, but I think I am now done. So I'm gonna flip around and we'll see the finish. So once again, here is the major shelf. Come around this way. The top of the stairs. This small, this small shelf, I didn't really take anything off of. It's kind of some of just my reference books and some of my religious instruction books, so they're going to stay there. And then I did make some room on this little shelf over here. Sorry, the lighting's getting terrible, you can't see, but plenty of room. I took a few off, but plenty of room for some of the overflow that's not fitting in the shelf in the other room can be put there. And there's a little bit of room here yet, but not a whole lot. I still have those upper shelves, but I try not to use those too much because I can't reach them and I don't have a step stool up here. So that is it. I'll take you back into my other room then and you can see the pile. Okay, there it is. There's the pile. And a few more up here too. This is including some books I had in this room that I took off the stack that I think I'm ready to part with. I still have stacks. and stacks, along with my very full shelf. So hopefully soon the plan is to get a couple more shelves on either side of this one, and that'll help out. But anyway, for now, there is the Unhaul. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but there it is. So I guess that's it. And we'll check in with Amy and see how she did on hers too.
Okay, hey guys, so I'm out at my brother's house right now, but I wanted to do just a quick little intro into my bookshelf decluttering and organizing, all that. I actually, as I mentioned like in the beginning of the video, I already went through and cleaned my bookshelves and did the decluttering, the organizing, all of that when I did my office deep clean, which is another video you can check out on my channel. But so I've already done all of that, so I just kind of like took those videos from that and threw them in here. So didn't have an intro and figured I would add one in really quick. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoy watching. My bookshelves, after I got all finished with them, are pretty much organized to look pretty, as I'm sure will be different than Kelly's, because Kelly definitely enjoys more of a eclectic bookshelf, and I like everything to be pretty even. That's why I try and like buy almost exclusively hardcovers when I can, so that way it all is very like even and everything matches and all of that. So yeah, I have all of my series are together, and then any like standalone books are organized by color, which probably is going to drive some people nuts. And then my TBR shelf is all just organized by color, and yeah, so sorry if that drives you nuts, but that's how it works for me pretty much. So anyway, I hope you enjoy watching my little declutter and organizing and all of that, and let's get into it.
I know a girl who's so fine, she's running laps around my heart. She's more than perfect, she's not the type to go play a part. She came and killed my whole life, and just like Mike Tyson, now I'm here seeing stars. I could take all of my time just trying to describe her, I don't know where to start. All my life I knew she's my baby, I can't hide it, making me crazy. Sometimes I close my eyes and dream about when we met in high school, and I've been trying to tell her this lately. She's more father rock in the 80s. I think about her when I sleep, like back when we were 17. Girl, you know you got me dreaming. We could be driving fast with your feet on the dash. You're riding by my side, leaving all our fears in the past. And anywhere you wanna see what we could be on the map. It's only you and me, nothing to prove for me, yeah. All my life I knew she's my baby, I can't hide it, making me crazy. Sometimes I close my eyes and dream about when we met in high school, and I've been trying to tell her this lately. She's more father rock in the 80s. I think about her when I sleep, like back when we were 17. Back when we were 17. Back when we were 17. Know what I'm about, I like to mess around. Throw parties at the house, someone soon. Your boyfriend chasing clout, he's scared of missing out, but he ain't gotta know what we doing. We ain't got nowhere to be, living out wild and free. Curry, let's make it a 3, another round up on my sleeve. She said she don't wanna leave, ain't even playing for keeps. Oh yeah. Can't nobody tell me what I can do. Got a plenty aces that life hands you. Feeling like my body understands you. Maybe we could take this all the way. Spend another day chilling, making layups. If you're feeling down, well, there's a way up. All about that bread, I got my cake up. Maybe I just need another taste. Love the way you sway. Lately I've been feeling like my life is in a movie. I call it every night and every day. Cause I don't ever let the fame or money fool me. I gotta stay consistent in my ways. Oh yeah, we ain't got nowhere to be. Living a wild and free. Girl, let's make it a 3. Not a one up on my sleeve. She said she don't wanna leave. Ain't even playing for keeps. Yeah. Can't nobody tell me what I can do. Gotta play the aces that life hands you. Feeling like my body understands you. Maybe we could take this all the way. Spend another day chilling, making layups. If you're feeling down, well, there's a way up. All about that bread, I got my cake up. Maybe I just need another taste. Love the way you sway. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh.
Saturday by the sea, got somewhere we need to be, we just stay here. Like the feel of something new, showing up out of the blue, never been so clear. Psychedelic, maybe it's magic, maybe we're just high. One more hit to keep this going on and on. I know that you want me in the moment, looking at me from the point of view. Lightning in a bottle, I've been searching for somebody just like you. Pillow talking, late night conversation, turning someone I say both for two. Maybe that's our only reservations, yeah. Somebody just like you. Didn't know this could be real. Makes no sense, just what I feel, new sensations. Kissing under summer moon, crashing waves in Malibu, no limitations. Oh, psychedelic, maybe it's magic.
Okay.
Alright, so unhaul time.
Yes. See the decisions we made.
Yeah, so I feel like all of my decisions were pretty easy to make.
Mine were too. Basically because, well, as you saw, that shelf out there, the pretty room, that shelf holds all of the books that I've collected through the years. We won't talk about how many years, but through the years. So that was the one where I really had the most work to do. In here, in this room, as you can see, the stacks everywhere. When I don't like a book, I just put it on a stack right away. It doesn't even go back on the shelves. So that's plenty easy. It was, yeah, out there. And, you know, as you saw, there's things I'm still debating on. So, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah.
Alright, so
Here we go.
should we just hop into books that like we haven't read and are going to read?
Sure.
We're gonna, okay.
Sure.
That's one of my bigger
You
stuff.
got a big old pile.
I know. I give up easy. I guess.
Ooh, that's huge.
Yeah. Yep, and they're all...
Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't read that one either.
Alright, so I'm just gonna like run through these really quick. That's probably how we're gonna do the whole unhaul, just like a quick like, okay, here's the book and here's like whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyway, because obviously I'm not gonna have much to say about these. So, Oil, Upton Sinclair. I did read The Jungle by him.
We
Hated
did
it.
for a book club. It was horrible.
Hated it. So.
I mean, it was good, but it was horrible.
No, I hated it. So,
well, I did too, but it was a well-written book about an important subject, but it was... Yeah. Listen, stop me. Just stop me right now. Quit talking!
Anyway, I'm not going to read any more books from him because
No.
I feel like they're probably all very similar. So, yeah, no. Miracles in the ER. I usually like the doctor stories and all of that, but I'd rather just watch it on TV. The Revenant. Wasn't a huge fan of the movie, so I really didn't want the book.
You weren't? Oh, I loved that movie. Okay, sorry.
It was okay.
I loved that movie.
It was okay. The Big Short. I think I did watch this movie and I was kind of bored with it. I would just rather watch the movie instead of read the book because it's kind of like boring. For the Love, I actually don't even really know what this is about. But yeah. 1776. If you can't tell by all of the books or what you'll see, I'm not like super into history, I guess. I meant to read this book before I went to Massachusetts because I went and visited like Lexington and Concord and like all of the sites out there and like where the war happened and all that, but I never got around to it and I really just don't plan on getting around to it. So
did I tell you about the t-shirt that I want to get for 4th of July? It's on Etsy. It says America spilling the tea since 1776.
That's awesome.
I want that t-shirt.
Please get that t-shirt. You need to get that t-shirt.
Yes, I think so.
For sure. Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand. I don't know. I know that this was also turned into a movie, and again, I'm not huge into history and stuff, and this is another war story, and I'm sure my dad would love it, but it is not for me. Chasing Lincoln's Killer. This book has been on my shelf since I was in like junior high or middle school, and I still have not read it yet, so probably not going to.
Probably time to get rid of it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Have a Little Faith by Mitch Albom. He's a very good author, I'll give him that, but all of his books make me cry, and I just don't feel like having more books that make me cry, because I cry enough on my own. I don't need books' help, so it's like, I don't know.
No more, please.
No, and like all of his books are like kind of similar themes, like they talk a lot about like loss, there's a lot of like grief and all of that, and it's just like, it's too much for me. And so I'm at a point in my life where I don't need the help, you know. It's not like I planned it this way. This was probably one of the hardest books for me to unhaul, which is surprising because it's a big behemoth, and this is really the reason why I haven't read it yet, is because it's so big, I guess, and
it is a big book.
It's not something that I'm like super interested in. But the reason why it was so hard to unhaul, because this was actually a book that I bought because my mom picked it out while we were in the bookstore one day shopping for books, and she saw this one. She's like, I really think you would like this one. And so she...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
and so,
I can
like,
see that.
After that, I've just been holding on to it, and I've been meaning to read it. It's been like, you know, what, probably over 10 years now that I've had the book on my shelf, and I just look at it, and it just makes me think of that moment every time, and I'm like... I don't know, I've been keeping it for that reason, not because I want to read it, but... Yeah, so...
I'd probably have to keep it around.
I know, like...
I probably would. I see why you're struggling with it.
Yeah, so, I don't know, we'll see. It might stay on the shelf just as a reminder, it might not, but...
Yeah,
it was just, like, a moment like that,
yeah.
So, like, okay. And then, Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. I'm a Samsung girl. I'm not gonna read it.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
I heard he was kind of a dick in real life, so you know, I don't really want to read about him anyway.
Yeah, me too.
So, but anyway.
Okay, well, my stack of just never reads and don't intend to read. Actually, like this whole deal here is never read yet, but you can't see it. Sorry, the camera doesn't go there. The shelf above this shelf right here The top shelf, that's all books I haven't read yet that I don't intend to get rid of. I'm still working on those. But anyway, I only have 2 that I have never read that I'm going to get rid of. And that first one is The Good Left Undone by Adriana Trigani. And the second one is Sarah Winman's Still Life. This was a total cover buy. I don't know what the book's even about. I just picked it because I like the cover. It was one of those days I was just buying. So, those 2. I mean, this one, I don't know. It's one of those family drama generational type books that it sounds kind of good, but I don't, no. Anyway, those are my 2. Those are my 2. Yeah.
All right. Books we have multiple copies of, and we're getting rid of a copy at least.
Yes.
The Choice by Nicholas Sparks. I actually just bought this book in hardcover edition because I love me a hardcover exclusive library. So I'm getting rid of the paperback finally, and also I really don't like these mass paperback.
Mass market.
Oh,
I don't either,
I hate
really.
these so much.
Yeah.
But anyway, that, and then A Christmas Carol. I also have this in like a really cool hardcover, like old
Special
hardcover edition. Like, yeah. So got rid of this too.
Okay, well I have one. And if you've watched our last bookstore video,
Yeah, our triple B.
our triple B, it is The Wilder Women by Ruth Emmy Lang. When we were at the bookstore, we got Blind Date with a Book, and I have this. And I already have it somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, right here. I bought it from Book of the Month Club. So I already had it, and then I get this one. This is an ARC, which you're not supposed to sell. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I mean the bookstore would probably take it twice told, but I'm thinking maybe on my Instagram at some point, maybe to celebrate some milestone, I might give this away. Maybe I'll wait until after I've actually read. So I have 2 copies. After I've actually read it, so then I can really sell it to somebody to give it away. But that's my one that I have a multiple copy of. I can't do others. I have lots of duplicate books, but it's because they're ebooks, and I wanted the physical copies of them, so I can't really get rid of the ebooks. So there you go. That's my one hardback. I have 2.
And so go follow Kelly over on Instagram and help her reach whatever milestone she's shooting for. So
I don't know. We're making this shit up as we go along. Who knows?
Perfect. So yeah, go give her a follow. She's got a lot of great content on there, especially if, like, obviously if you love books, like, it's the account to follow. So
Book reviews.
Yes.
I do book reviews most often.
Yes.
So yeah.
And they are great book reviews.
Well, thank you.
All right. So books that I had on my shelf that I can't remember whether I like them or not. Woo. The Duff. I know that this was a movie, and I actually just watched one of the YouTube channels I'm subscribed to, Nick and Corey. They do like a whole bunch of like movie reviews and stuff, and they watched the Duff movie on their channel and like reviewed it. And after that video, I knew for sure that I was going to be unhauling this book because I did not like that movie at all. So yeah, no. Sorry, Cody Keplinger, but not a fan of the book and not a fan of the movie rendition. So
There we go.
yeah, there we go. And then we have Red Kayak by Priscilla Cummings. This is a book that's been on my shelf for a very long time. I know I read it at some point. I think I got it back when it was like the Scholastic Book Fair thing when I was a kid. So I think I just probably have outgrown it. And then the last 2 I have here is The Eye of Minds and The Rule of Thoughts by James Dashner. I was talking with Kelly here just now about how I really couldn't remember too much about what they were about. I might have liked them, but no, I can't really remember if you liked it or not or what it's about. It probably shouldn't keep it on your shelf.
Probably not too memorable.
Yeah, so anyway, those are mine.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have any that I don't remember what they were about. Again, with my whole Kindle, I could get some off there because I went through a whole phase where all I read was ebooks. That's all I had. So there's plenty on there that I've read and have no clue. But again, can't really unhaul ebooks. So
Yeah.
So there we go.
Well, you want to just hop into all the ones you
Oh yeah, because I got plenty of these. So yeah, now we're gonna just be like books we've read and just didn't like them. And I've got plenty. Again, when Amy panned over there, you can see my stacks everywhere. And those are basically stacks of books I'm getting rid of too. So I just picked a few out just to talk about. So basically, every book club book from last year. So that's when we've got My Sister the Serial Killer, The Midnight Library, Hidden Figures. That's one. I actually do have 2 copies of that because I accidentally bought the children's edition also. Oh. So I'll have 2 of those. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. My Best Friend's Exorcism. I don't know. There's probably another one in here somewhere. I am keeping, funnily enough, I'm keeping Who Fears Death because I love the cover.
Yeah.
And I am also going to keep Silence of Trees, and I'm going to keep the big one, All the Light We Cannot See. Keeping that one too. But there's those. Okay, so the failed romance would be Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and Jude Devereaux's. I'm not keeping either of those. What else? The Maid and the Italian Summer. These are my book of the month ones that just didn't quite turn out very well. The Cartographers. Didn't really care for any of those. Legends and Lattes, if you've seen a couple of our videos, I've talked about this before. It's not a bad book. It just didn't do it for me. I just don't want to keep it. Grady Hendrix is not, I'm not his biggest fan. This was better than the other one, but don't need it around. Also, the Outlander series. This is just one. I have several in the series, but you know, they're like this big, and I mean, they're okay. So I'm just not going to go on with the series. So I'm not going to keep them. Same thing with my Harry Potter books. I don't even know which one this is.
The 6th one.
Yeah. See, I have them. I just grabbed one. But I think I was kind of older when they came out, so I enjoyed them. But I think I was probably past the point of being really influenced by them. And so they don't hold the same kind of meaning for me.
Well, they
Plus,
do for me. So.
I have never finished the series even. So, and I really don't intend to. I got to the Phoenix one and really got bored with it. So I was like, and then I never read anymore. So anyway, I don't know how many I have, even 4 or 5 of them, I guess. I don't even know if I have all of them up to 6 or not. But anyway, it's just one of those things. They're good books, obviously. Very good books. It's just not something that I care to keep on my library. Sherman Alexie, The Toughest Indian in the World. It's a collection of short stories. I just don't click with his writing. I just really don't. So I have finally decided it is time to get rid of the Twilight series. They have been on my shelf since they came out. I have only ever read them once. I never intend to read them again. I'm done. So I think it's just time to get rid of them. No matter how cool they might look on a shelf. They just remind me that they're not that cool. As well as this is the only physical copy of Cassandra Clare's The Mortal Instruments trilogy, which I did not like. I enjoyed while I was reading them, but once I got to sitting with it, I'm like, This is the only physical copy I have, so I'm going to get rid of it too. And the last one that I'm going to talk about, I'm actually wavering on whether or not to get rid of this, which is funny, because I hate this book. It's House of Leaves by Mark, whatever his name is.
Daniel Lusky.
Thank you. I really hate this book. I am never, ever going to read this book. But you know why I waver? To keep it around.
Because of the cover?
Well, yeah, kind of because of the cover. It is a pretty cool cover. It is pretty neat on the inside. But I always have this book around if I want to do a video about books you should never read. Because I had this handy to pull out for our Spooky Rex video of books. Don't read these books.
Yeah.
That's really the only reason I've kept it around.
You know, I can always just like insert the cover photo of the book.
I know, but it's just not as fun to say I actually have this book, and it's not.
And I hate it.
And I hate it. Now it is time to get rid of it. So, like I said, I've got a lot more, but those are just kind of the highlights.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Alright, the books that I read and I didn't like, or didn't like enough to keep, let's put it that way. We're going to do all of the book club fails for me as well. I'll start off there. Apollonia wasn't a book club fail necessarily for me, but it's not one that I loved enough to want to keep around. I know Kelly is very proud of me for getting it.
Yep. Yes, so good for you.
Yep.
Mine was an ebook, or it would have been on the list too.
I'm also getting rid of The Silence of Trees. It just didn't do it for me. Like it did for Kelly. Obviously, my sister's a serial killer. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Descendant of the Crane and The Ghost Bride are also getting out of here. Both books
Probably
Kelly
to
liked.
me, I like them both. I have paperback copies, but I don't have hardback copies.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
There's those. And then some failed other book video books are Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. Yeah, go watch that video to see how I felt about that. And Firefly Lane, same. Our Mother's Day video.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stick with watching the Netflix show. There's those. And then let's see here. We have some other ones. For One More Day by Mitch Albom. Again, like, you know, I'm done crying with his books for now.
Well, and you kind of get tired of them because they are kind of all the same.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just like, when you know where it's going and, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hoops Whisperer by Aiden Raven, however you say his name. I struggled with getting rid of this book too because my dad actually got me this book. It was like a really like spur of the moment thing. He's just like, I just saw the basketball and I thought you'd really like it.
Oh.
I'm like, that's so sweet. And then I read it and the dude who wrote it is an absolute dick. And I could not. This man, it's like kind of like a nonfiction book, I guess. It is a nonfiction book. And he's just like, he's got the world's biggest ego, and I just could not. I wanted to punch him in the face the entire time I was reading it, so. Unfortunately, Dad, I'm sorry I didn't like the book, but thank you for thinking of me. Then we have The Color Purple by Alice Walker, probably a book Kelly would love if she hasn't read it already.
I don't have a copy.
Well, she might have a copy now.
But you know what? Did you see the cover of Their Eyes Were Watching God? Has an endorsement from her.
Oh, really?
This is the most important book to me, or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that movie though.
I still haven't watched it, I don't think.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, and then we also have Peak by Roland Smith. This was just, it's like a middle grade book, or written for younger kids, so I'm not really into it all that much anymore. World War Z by Max Brooks. This is one of the ones that I absolutely did not like. The movie's great. Great, a strong word. The movie's good. The movie's good. I hated this book. It reads like a textbook the entire time, and I was over here like hoping that it would just be like this really fun zombie movie. Nothing like, or book, nothing like the movie. So, yeah. Platform 7 by Louise Dowdy, whatever. I think this was actually one of the Literally Dead book club books.
Yes.
Yep. And I read it for that reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was your books to stay away from. On the Spooky Rex too.
Yep. Yep, because it is
See?
not.
I'm telling you, that's why we keep these books around.
That was the reason. And I mean, if you're looking for a book that's all about abuse in a relationship, abusive relationships, this is the book. If you want a book that's, you know, a horror thriller, this is not it. A ghost book, not it. So disappointed by that and ready to get rid of it because I don't need to read a book about my life. So
at the time,
past life,
the time,
yeah. And then these are a couple of nonfiction books that I actually just bought like less than a month ago, but you know, they didn't really speak to me then. They don't speak to me now. Single on Purpose by John Kim. This isn't what I was expecting it to be, and
oh, that's the one you DNF'd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For when we were doing our wrap-up video.
yeah, it's just wasn't what I expected it to be, so doesn't apply to me anymore either. So. And then The Latte Factor by David Bach. Again, it wasn't really what I was expecting it to be or what I wanted to get from the book. It didn't have what I wanted. So, yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So,
Fair enough.
that's all my books.
Okay. That's some of my books.
Yeah.
Not quite all of them, but some of them definitely.
Good chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed watching our little spring bookshelf declutter and unhaul here. Let us know if any of these books that we unhauled were, like, do you disagree with us unhauling them? Or,
Do you want them?
Yeah, do you want them? Let us know. DM us. Our Instagrams are down in the description of the video, so yeah, let us know.
What are you doing with your books?
They're probably all going to go to Twice Told Tales. It's a local bookstore in
Used
McPherson.
bookstore. Oh, hey, listen to the lawnmower that just started up.
Of course. So,
You kind of waited 5 more minutes.
nope. So we're gonna rush through this ending really quick. Like I said, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, hit that red subscribe button down below the video. We post book videos every Sunday at 3-ish o'clock, so join us for those.
Yes. And if you came for the book stuff, cool. Go watch more stuff. If you think we're just okay with the book stuff, but you're not really your thing, there's plenty of other stuff. You can go watch cleaning videos and organizational videos and home decor and fashion stuff and shopping hauls and wow, all that sort of stuff. And she also has a blog and you can go see more stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hopefully you can find something that you will enjoy out of all of that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, that's going to do it for us today in this video. Like I said, hope you enjoyed watching. And I'm Amy.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the
Everyday
Everyday
Epic.
Epic. See y'all in the next one.
Hold on. One more thing before I let you go. So now that I have cleaned off all of my shelves and made all of that space, it only makes sense to fill them back up again. And coincidentally, I had just gone shopping online and all of my books came, like all in the same day. It was like Christmas around here. I just finished opening up all the packages and I thought that I would share them with you and you could see what I got. So I will start off with one of the brand new books that I got, and this is from Amazon. It is Tyranny of Faith, which is the sequel to Justice of Kings, which I read I think 2 months ago. So I picked up the sequel and look at that cover. Isn't it just beautiful? Oh, I love it. And I'm really looking forward to reading that one. I'm excited. Okay, some other new books that I got is from Book of the Month, which is a monthly subscription program. The first one is Ink Blood Sister Scribe. That was my first selection, and then because you can do add-ons to your monthly pick, I got Clytemnestra. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that yet. This is a mythological retelling, which I haven't had the best luck with lately, but I thought, why not? We'll give it another try. I get a really nice hardback, beautiful cover for like $10, so I did it. And the other cool thing about Book of the Month is, I mean, like I said, it's a monthly subscription, but you can skip a month if you want to. if you don't like any of the selections. But after you have done 12 months, you become a BFF. And when you do that, you get this really cool tote bag of the month. And on the front, it has this book pocket, so you can take your book with you wherever you go. And you get a free book on your birthday, too. So this month I became a BFF. So that was my book of the month this month. The next book I got off eBay. And in our parish, there was a priest that was a chaplain in the Korean War. And he was captured and ended up dying in the prison camp there. But because of his actions on the battlefield and in the camp, he was awarded the Medal of Honor in 2013. So this book, which was actually written by another priest in our parish, is the story of Chaplain Capon, which, as the title would suggest, tells the story of the chaplain that was killed in the prison camps there. Now, this edition was from the first printing, so it's very old. It's like 70 years old or so. And you can tell it's got a little wear on the dust cover. But the book itself is in really good shape. So it's good. And it's inscribed by the author. And they also sent along this like prayer card, which looks really old. So I think it's probably original too. So that was kind of neat. Add that to my collection. The next set of books I got from Better World Books. And Better World Books is mainly a used book site, but the main reason I really like to go there is they donate books. And I'm pretty sure it is book for book. So like every book that you order, they will donate a book. So it's, again, one of my favorite places to go shop. And looking around on there, I found these really cool hardbacks. And one of my favorite fantasy series is the October Day series by Shannon McGuire. And so I found these hardbacks for really great price. And I thought, well, why not? Let's just go ahead and start collecting the hardbacks. So I got The Unkindest Tide and Night in Silence. There's like 17 or 18 books out in this series, so I have two. A little ways to go. The last book that I got from Better World is also by Shannon McGuire, but it's in a different series, and this one is Middle Game. I've been wanting to try that one too for a while. So again, for the price, you can't go wrong. These were, I mean, just crazy cheap for hardbacks, and they're such good condition. And they're old library editions, so they have the clear coat on the dust cover, so really nice. Okay, the next set of books is from Thrift Books, which is another place that I really like to go quite a bit. They do new and used, so you can get and buy just about anything you want there. I wasn't planning on getting these books yet. I have them on ebook or as ebooks, but I wasn't planning on getting the physical copies just yet. But then I found these editions and they are so cool that, well, I did it anyway. And that is the Mistborn Trilogy, Era 1 by Brandon Sanderson. But look at these covers. I mean, are they not just cool? I love these. They're so cool. And of course, that just got me to pick up physical copies sooner than I planned on, but hey, what the hell? I did it. Now, the other thing about Thrift Books that's kind of neat is they have a bonus program. So for every book that you buy, you earn points. You earn enough points, you get a free book. I had earned enough points prior to this, which is why I went back to Thrift Books in the first place. But your free book has to be $7 or less. And of course, the books that I had picked out already were over $7. So naturally, I had to go shopping again. And looking around to see what my free book would be, I saw this one and decided this would be the one. So Amy, this one is for you. Maggie Stiefvater's The Raven Boys. Now, Amy talks this book up all the time. So when I saw it, I thought, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. It sounds good. Amy likes it. There we go. So there you go, Amy. That one's for you. Now the last set of books that I got came from Pango Books. And Pango is a website of individual booksellers. So you can get on there and just shop from individuals. But you can also set up your own bookshop if you want to. It's really easy. I have a bookshop on there. I haven't done a lot with it lately, but I've got one and it's really easy to use. Just take a few snapshots, type in some details, and boom, it's up. It's really simple to use. So, but I went shopping this time. So the first one that I got is also by Brandon Sanderson, which is Way of Kings. And this is the mass market paperback edition. So you can see it's a chunk of a book. And this bookseller actually sent me stickers to go along with it. So I thought that was really nice. The next book I got, I actually have the ebook. I just finished it. I loved it. So I wanted the physical copy. And that is T. Kingfisher's Nettle and Bone. This is the third 5-star read from her that I've had now. So she's a natural auto buy now. And I will probably just start collecting her whole backlist because I'm fairly sure now I'm gonna want them all anyway. So got that one. Now the next book that I got was total cover buy. I have no idea what this book is about. No clue. Bought it for the cover. Ellen Kushner's Thomas the Rhymer. Now, given the title, I'm fairly sure I know what this is probably about, but still, no idea. Bought it for the cover. If you saw our favorite covers video, then you might see that this is a little bit familiar. I had a couple favorites in the same style by illustrator Tom Canty, and he also did this one. So again, total cover buy. I saw it, I recognized the style, loved it. He kind of pioneered this style called the New Romantics that was really popular back in the early 90s or so, and one of my favorites. So anyway, that's why I bought it. And it goes all the way around. I just think it's beautiful. So I add that to my collection. It was $1. $1. For $1, I can buy all the covers I want. Okay. The last book that I got from Pango, I've been wanting a physical copy of this one for a while too, which is Tuck Everlasting. And this is a really pretty edition. I love it. It's a hardback and it's a bare cover and it's just really pretty. But the real cool thing about this is what the seller did. Look at this. This is so amazing. On the packaging, she recreated the cover on the packaging. Now, people who can draw just amaze me anyway, because I can't draw, like, at all. And the fact that somebody could just dash off this really pretty illustration on the packaging just amazes me. So, Christine, you did a good job. I'm going to be keeping the packaging this time. Who wouldn't? Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. That's so cool. Anyway, that is it. Oh, I just remembered, there's one more book that I have coming. It hasn't come yet, that I got from Thrift Books as well, and that is the illustrated edition of Neil Gaiman's Ocean at the End of the Lane, which I have been wanting for so long. Also in our favorite cover videos, Amy had this one, and I just love it. I'd been wanting it forever, and I finally found a copy that wasn't like crazy expensive. So it is still coming, so I can't wait to get that. So now I have this whole stack of books. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and soon to be 16 new books to add to my collection and start filling up those shelves. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that and seeing what I got. I just wanted to share it with you and do a little haul video after all of the unhauling. And anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're having a great day.